Josh and Frankie with a couple of dumb shits.
Hello, Primates! You found Primus Tracks. Congratulations. There are many places to find us on the internet, as it were. We are at Primus Tracks on Instagram and Threads. Primus Tracks Pod at gmail.com is the email address. And if you are one of the people who frequents Facebook, there's a Facebook page. You'll never guess what it's called. I am Josh. I am one of the hosts of Primus Tracks in my secure bunker. He is one of the hosts of Primus Tracks from the 39th floor of Primus Tracks Towers. I believe he's adding some kind of penthouse suite for newly minted drummer John Hoffman. We'll let him tell us about that. It's Frankie Berestein.
Hey, Josh.
Frankie, we are in the throes of all kinds of new Primus material. So we're taking a second straight week away from our coverage of Wales and Woe to talk Primus. Last time we discussed the new track Little Lord Fentanyl. Today we are doing what amounts to a live commentary on the finale of the Primus Interstellar Drum Derby. Who are we to do this, Frankie?
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Therefore, it should be us. A lot of bad decisions have been made based on the logic of somebody's got to do it. This is one of them. I think it will be much more harmless than many others. So we're going to do that today. You're more than welcome to stick with us as we talk our way through the Drum Derby finale. We have a couple of pieces of business to do first, and one of them is a regular feature on this podcast.
We got very exciting miscellaneous debris this week. A spin article was posted where Huff and Les was interviewed in regards to Hoffman joining the band, right, which is cool because it's kind of a complimentary article to that really long interview with Huff that we already discussed. But this little conversation with Les is very interesting because he revealed that a new Primus album is very likely to materialize the following year, and he also wants the Claypool and on Delirium album out, which is going to be a concept record. He said that it's really out there, so if Les thinks that something is out there, then it must be truly out there, right?
It's pretty far out there if that's the case, yeah. I would imagine.
And he would like to tour the summer with both bands simultaneously. So yeah, that would be really fantastic. Delirium and then Primus, and both bands are promoting new records. That sounds absolutely incredible. And I'm guessing Les is really excited about Primus again. He said in the article he was not planning to do Primus this summer. He was either going to tour with Frog Brigade or with the Delirium. But he's so excited about Primus with Huff that they're going on the road again in the summer. But I guess at the same time, he knows that the Delirium record has been pushed way too far. So I'm guessing that 2026 will be an incredibly exciting year to be a Les Claypool fan.
Yeah. Has anybody seen Sean Lennon recently? Is he just locked up at Rancho Relaxo waiting for Les to come back to work on the record?
He is locked up at the moment, yes.
Okay, so he's like Huel at the end of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Just sitting there. Poor guy. That is interesting news. It's no surprise, of course, that he is excited to work with Hoffman, inspired to create some new Primus tunes. It does sound like they have made significant progress on that CLD record that last we heard was halfway done, 2/3 of the way done. I suppose they're in the home stretch now. Lots to look forward to this summer, 2025, and certainly into the latter half and into 2026. I think we're going to get a lot of material and a lot of touring.
I don't know about you, but this is something that I personally feel, and some of our listeners as well, because I read some similar comments on our Facebook page. But this feels just like Green Naugahyde era. that excitement that Les has for the band at the moment, which led to a new album and tours and deep cuts being performed again, that kind of excitement, I think, had not been witnessed since Kurinogahide.
100%. And we have heard some names of tunes that have been sound checked of recent days, which we will not reveal. But if those tunes that they're sound checking and fine tuning right now carry over to the summer tour, pretty much everybody will have a great time. Everyone will be pleasantly surprised, I think, by what they bring to the table. So a lot going on in Primusville and even Deliriumville these days. Before we get to our audacious live commentary, controversial yet brave, or whatever the phrase you use is. We haven't thanked our patrons for a little while, and
let's do that right now.
We've been remiss in doing that, so I want to thank all the wonderful folks over at patreon.com/Primus Tracks. Some of them are watching this on video right now. And I want to thank you all for your support, because it certainly helps keep us going. It keeps the lights on, and it is really great. The best part, of course, is interacting with all of you over there on the Patreon. There are many tiers of support. We do the Primates Takes every episode. We're talking about a track, monthly hangouts and bonus pods and all kinds of junk over there.
Your support keeps the motion-sensitive lasers active at Primus Towers.
That's true. Down in your climate-controlled storage facility.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the one. I know you sleep in there most nights too, just to keep an eye on things. Yeah. I want to thank all the wonderful Primatrons over there at the Patreon. Marcus Mayall, thank you so much. Recent addition to the crew. Gage Massey, Gene Meyer, Frankie, our pal Gene chipped in.
Hey, Gene.
I said, Gene, what the hell are you doing here? You get lost? He said, no, I wanted to support the pod. A nice guy. Harry, this is Harry. I want to call him Harry Harrison. I don't know why. And Robbie McCory, Joe T. I really wonder what that T stands for. Zach M. I know what the M stands for. Brian Bergy. Audrey Myers. Also want to thank Mike Taylor Mosier, Bryce Sherrill, Cam Covington, Mickey Waters, IDK Bye, Lance Halterman, Sachko,
legend,
big time, Tom Dastic, Brittany Ray, Wamola 17, Orlando Gentry, Edwin Allen Richards IV, Matt Ray, and of course Deluge Nuts, which I have to say every time. Our resident fish expert Jordan Kahn, Matt Crakely, Trish, another legend. Less is more, thank you so much. Eric in Australia, resident
legend.
curmudgeon and legend. We also have Brooks Delight,
legend.
Ryan Rashawn, Joseph Pebbler, Nick in the Netherlands.
Nick.
Who calls himself Nick the Dutchie. Travis in Alaska #1.
Legend.
There's also Travis in Alaska #2. Let's just call them both legends. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, because I don't want either Travis in Alaska to feel left out. In the cold of the Alaskan wilderness. Stephanie Wolfgang King was one of the first in the door. Thank you for sticking around, Stephanie.
Hey, thanks, Stephanie.
Carl Reinsch, our pal. Mike Chillian. Sarah Markham, also one of the first in the door. Jesse Calton, who I think it's next New Year's Eve, we're all crashing on his couch, all 13 of us.
Thanks, Jesse.
They're going. Yeah, thanks ahead of time, pal. Porter Kropf. Porter! Anthony Del Preet.
Go Bills.
Oh, took the words right out of my mouth. John Shreve. Mr. Johnny Perona, composer of the Primates Takes jingle. Mr. Funknificent, been around for quite some time. Jahani Coho, Stephen Stang, the Phantom Primatrian. Simon, that's a recent change, actually. Simon Altman in Australia. Mike Tuckerman. Our good friend Sculligan Val. Chris Gentile. Kevin. Adrian Porter. And, of course, El Patron numero uno, Carlos Arizmendi.
Incredible lineup.
What a list. Thank you all so much for your support. If you want to join that group of luminaries, patreon.com/Primus Tracks. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, in which two guys who have no idea what they're doing offer real-time commentary on the Primus Interstellar Drum Derby. Frankie, I don't know about you, but I can guarantee there will be absolutely no gear talk of any substance. There will be zero musical insights. There will be commentary of a sort. That sound you just heard is lots and lots of people turning off the podcast. Okay. Of course, this was an hour-long special. Before I press play, I want to thank Primus, of course, for doing this. It was the first time in quite a long while that we got any kind of video footage from them, and especially something this
Substantial, yeah,
this thorough. To even give us an hour-long special for the end is truly special. Also want to thank Agent O for his fantastic editing and production throughout the series.
And Cage
for his great camera work, and everybody in the credits. Lots of familiar names in the credits, and everybody did a bang-up job putting this together. It is of the utmost quality. I just had a blast, watching it for 12 weeks.
I remember watching the Dream Theater drum auditions back in 2019. I don't know when they actually took place, but I watched those videos on 2019.
Yeah.
Just out of sheer curiosity. That's it. I'm not a fan, but I was just curious about what that process was like. And if somebody had told me that some years down the line, I would be watching something similar, but done for my favorite band, you know what I would have replied.
Girl.
Jewish.
Either one.
Either one, yeah.
I think, and it wasn't just dudes like us and Primus fans out there watching this. I've seen posts from guys like Mike Portnoy, speaking of Dream Theater, who said he watched the whole series with great interest. And Bill Burr, of all people, asked Hoffman for a picture with him and said he was a fan of the Drum Derby and, of course, a fan of Hoffman's, Bill Burr being a drummer himself. So this apparently captivated a lot of people, and I think we should all enjoy it together.
So,
what about some covers?
Oh, yeah.
What do you know?
Of course it starts with Fred Armisen.
What?
Yeah.
How did you figure it out?
I love that.
How did you figure it out? I had an accident one time. I could only use one finger for a couple weeks.
Wow.
So that was the only one I could play.
Lur does a mean one-fingered smoke on the water.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty good, Frankie.
Yeah. Les's tone is brilliant.
It sounds like he was born to play this tune. Richard holding it down on drums.
I love the sound of the new six-string Patron.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some of it.
Those sixers sound
great
for sure.
I don't know how much of it I can accomplish, but it's more of a thrill for me to play it.
I mean, it was on the list for songs to learn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you know it?
I'm one of those,
You just feel things out.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Fred Armisen throughout the series,
with
Frankie?
Of course.
When was the first time you...
I was kind of hit and miss for me,
I
but...
worked at a cafe in
I guess I was
Chicago.
just eager to see
And
who was going to be playing in each episode. So
album cover,
it was
and I was like,
kind of a
what is this?
let's just skip ahead moment for me. And you?
Like, enough of this. I got to see Thomas
Yeah.
Lang.
There was something humorous about it that I liked.
That's pretty funny.
And
We're
then,
trying to be totally serious. I don't know.
well, but there was something in it that
I do like this one, though, because
there was something.
Fred
light about it
is
that I really
drawing on his actual personal experience discovering Primus here, and Les
then
doesn't know if
a
he's
friend of
breaking
mine played it
character.
for me, and I was like,
It's pretty funny.
what is this? So there you go.
Awkward pause.
So is this part of the character? Is
There
this
you go. See?
Half and half. That is really the first. That is really the first way I heard Primus. Is a friend of mine when I worked at this cafe was playing you guys, and I was like, "What is this?" Can we do a little bit of Jerry's Race Car Driver?
Now, see, I thought this was Jens Hanneman when they showed the photo, because that's one of Fred's characters. And Jens does a really bad drum clinic. Have you seen that one, Frankie?
No.
Oh, okay. Everything, by the way, you see on the walls here at this rehearsal space in LA, Jason McHugh put it all together. And it looks fantastic in there. You can see Les's iPad in the corner there with his playlist and lyric sheet.
And the handwork.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't have. I didn't have.
yet.
I didn't have. That was such a thrill. Thanks for letting me do that.
Richard, I think that's one of the best that song's ever sounded.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That better be real.
Richard's actually my brother.
I love this.
And so, I don't know, it'd be kind of weird if I was just like, hey, man, can my brother try out?
There is a
So
bit of a
kind just
resemblance between the two of them in there.
yeah.
put him in the auditions. You know. I think
Especially
he
when he's
did
got that
really
wig on,
but-
of
Yeah,
course.
but don't tell anybody because it's like, it'd be weird. Like, hey, can my brother try out?
It's in the nose
Yeah,
and the cheeks, I
but,
think.
You know, it's worth a try, and
I think it might actually work out.
I think so.
Yeah.
You put in a good word for me.
Don't tell mom.
Yeah. What?
Am I last?
Lur's pretty decent in improv.
You gonna get on the drums?
Huh?
You
And
gonna
of
get
course,
on the
here's
drums?
Bob
Well, I've never
Odenkirk.
played, but I heard that you guys are kind of
With
experimental.
Japanese jet
Yeah,
lag, right?
it's not required to be able to play.
I thought, you know, maybe somebody could.
So for those of you not in the know,
Give me a
Tim
tick
Soya is good friends with Bob Odenkirk and was able to
give me a ticket on.
talk him into coming down for this little cameo
All right.
here.
By the way, I can. As many times as you want.
Do you want?
Okay.
And that's funny that we're doing this because
I look
Hoffman just posted on Instagram that he saw Glenn Ross in New York City, and Bob Odenkirk's in that stage production along with Bill Burr and many other familiar names. This is great. He's cueing Les.
I know, right?
So dumb.
You're cute.
I'm trying.
Oh,
I'm trying.
I'm out. I'm out.
The great Bob
yelled
Odenkirk,
at.
everyone.
Damn it.
Right. It's not professional.
You get the gig if you want it. It's yours. It's your gig.
Bob, what's going on? How you doing, buddy?
It's great that these guys have lots of famous friends. And of course, our intro with Mr. Adam Gates on the narration.
Undefinable rock band Primus found themselves in search of a drum.
Cool animation here
Scoured the galaxy for the greatest drummer
with the satellite. These are all the 6,000 pieces of debris you've been catching, Frankie,
Yeah,
watching all these,
yeah.
watching all the audition videos, right?
Welcome to
Okay.
the Primus
That's right.
Interstellar Drum Derby.
So
It was
there-
brutal.
What level of Primus Tracks towers are you keeping all this captured debris on?
In the basement.
Oh, man, that's a huge basement. Jeez.
Hello.
John.
Now, this is the teaser we got
Yes, this is John.
at the
Let's
end of
play
episode
pool.
10.
Hi, Les.
What's happening, man?
John's disbelief is outstanding.
Hello.
Gotta go.
Yes.
Les Claypool.
Who are you?
Les Claypool.
Les Claypool. Jesus Christ.
What the hell are you doing? What are you doing, man? I've been listening to drum audition
Goose great.
audio. But we thought you were in one of the top guys, so we want to get you to come back. Are you interested in that?
Absolutely.
So in these articles, Frankie,
Yeah,
they said they were
of course,
setting up
yeah.
for
How did you feel about the audition?
a three-person
How did you feel you
final.
did?
So
I felt like
we don't know what happened to the third person, if there was a third person, or if logistically they decided to narrow it to
I
two.
respect you guys a lot. I felt so relaxed
Interesting.
and no stress at all. I mean, I felt
So I wonder if there was a third finalist who
Well,
couldn't
to be
make it or
honest,
backed out.
After I chilled out for about 4 or 5 hours, I realized how unbelievably nervous I was in the room.
Yeah, you were pretty nervous.
John was nervous.
I realized that afterwards, but considering how nervous I was, I think that a couple mistakes.
I think that's this is going to be a common refrain that John is just so real, and that it's of course it's human nature to get nervous even if you're a pro, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And
The one thing you got to work on
here's
is
of course
the double
Les is
bass
telling
thing.
him to
As
do
soon
his
as you went
homework
to the
here.
double bass, it would speed up like crazy. So you got to work on that.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go. I look forward to it.
Me too, Lex. Thank you so much.
And Les recounted how Hoffman got nervous before the Tool in the Sand gig. It had to get Danny Carey to calm him down. I'm guessing the butterflies have really settled, and Hoff is able just to go out there and play those tunes every night for Sasanta. Honestly, like, what a great warm-up. You're playing just a handful of staples, and then you can slowly work your way into the deep cuts.
Lucky for me, I'm on a pretty straight road right now, so...
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye.
All right.
I'll see you in a week or so.
Yeah, man, I won't let you down. Sounds great.
All right, bye.
By the way, Les calls me all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't get nervous anymore when he calls.
Got to listen to everything, and we'd already been listening along as we went, and it got down to the last two picks of who we really thought were the best two fits with Primus and bringing something else.
So this is the dairy, Frankie. This is where
Conspiranoia was recorded, right?
Correct.
One of them was Gergo Borlai.
So I don't know if Rancho Relaxo has been abandoned as a regular recording spot, but we'll find out with CLD.
Which is really, really cool and definitely up on the next level.
Just listen to Gergo warming up. Cripes.
This is a big thing. I mean, this is, as I mentioned, I think in Ellie on the audition,
Shiner.
As a drummer like me, playing in the band like this one, it's a dream gig. In many ways,
I love
baked
that.
potato.
That's right. Hoffman went to the baked potato after his audition, he said in that Modern Drummer interview. Good stuff.
Felt like he could easily slide into this situation and not have a struggle with it.
Offer.
Come on in. When he called, I figured it was going to be a, hey, thanks for coming. You had a great showing. You should be proud of yourself.
Hoffman's T-shirt game, Frankie, on point.
On point.
Man, Nintendo, Mad Magazine.
This final process.
You know what? I eventually, I'm sure we'll get to speak with him on Primus Tracks, but I do want to ask him about his T-shirt game and also ask him his nostalgia level when he watched Stranger Things. Invariably watched Stranger Things, right?
I think it was during this derby. There's a shot where they were having lunch, and I noticed that he has a Futurama tattoo on his arm.
It was an emotional.
Yes, he does. That's right.
So many times in this process that it's just been an emotional roller coaster, and that was just another one.
We have a lot of
a
touch points for TV, I think, in video games, Hoff and I. Oh, this is the Copeland ride thing.
We had to switch the hats because he plays 14s and he kept missing the hat. Oh, really? Trying to hit it, couldn't get it close.
Gladly put him back if necessary.
Look, do whatever makes you comfortable.
After LA, again, the way he grooved with everything just fit seamlessly. He jammed really good. He did a lot of really cool stuff, and it just really felt.
I've always been curious why that kick drum is so far apart from the rest of the set.
What an amazing place out here.
I think it's just because it's so large to have it close in would make it difficult to set up the cymbals in any way that would be reachable.
I said, do people ever call you Hoffer? He's like, yeah, sometimes. I will call
you can have that. You can have that pedal at your feet. There's no way around that. But then there's a really long line that connects to the head, or the beater, I suppose.
I love black on white design too. That's just
pretty standard.
Yeah. So I got to hang out with Gergo before.
Beautiful black and white package drum.
Actually,
is that the newest one?
Up here, which was
it's really fantastic.
Fun. And he drank some wine, and he told me about how his mom was a winemaker. And
there's the PRS.
I know. Yeah. Just for that. Funny level. That's the verb. Okay.
Okay, this is where it gets really brave yet controversial.
Rush is far from vanilla. Rush is an acquired taste.
I think there's a language barrier thing here too.
For most people, Rush was an acquired taste.
Because vanilla means bland, and I think Gergo was looking for something different.
Oh, okay. I thought it smelled like cheesy.
He's not the biggest Rush
fan,
but that was maybe not the right choice either.
but we bonded on other musicians.
Thank goodness. Here's one of many diners that they visited. I mentioned this already. Anthony Garcia, our pal, who's been on the pod many times, just from the preview, sent me the names and locations of all these places they went.
Playing a lot and doing a lot of clinics.
This looks really nice.
But do you enjoy being there?
I'll put them in the show notes so everyone
Yeah,
can
we're in Spain since
expand their Primus pilgrimages, including you,
16
Frankie.
years.
Yes.
Yeah, Barcelona is one of the best times to live. Not to work, but to live. Healthy.
Not
safe,
wild. He's out of
ocean,
Barcelona.
same better
Like he
in
would
LA,
have to
just
relocate,
great.
I think, for Primus,
right.
or at least get an apartment in California.
How old's your father?
He's almost 70.
Yeah.
And he's lived the same lifestyle. pretty
Hoffman
much
ordered
his whole
OJ.
life. He never really grew up, you know. Yeah. He's always been very talented. He's always.
There's the Futurama tattoo, the robot devil.
Yeah. I saw that dude. Yeah, because I think I looked it up when your dad.
There's Hoffer's dad. A lot of people think Hoffer's dad looks like Les around 91 or so.
Yeah.
Fan?
I love to. And I just saw them last summer in Budapest, and it was one of the best concerts I ever.
It's funny you asked me last
Oh,
night
God,
who my
Beat was
favorites
awesome.
were, and I said probably Garibaldi or Ruger. It's definitely Ruger. Like I was kind of hung up, but I've probably gotten more influence from his style than most other drummers.
This is the godfather of death metal right here.
Les loves saying
Seriously.
that.
Okay.
Have you even heard of Possessed?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When he was in
There's a dude. Do you see the dude in the background, right in the middle of the screen? He's watching them. He's just staring right down the barrel of the camera.
Yeah, Voivod.
And he looks pissed.
He is not chill.
Faith No More and some other band I don't even remember the name of. We were in this battle of the bands at the Stone in San Francisco, and I just remember watching Faith No More. Never heard of them before. You know, it was before they were
These are
big.
the stories I love.
And I just saw him playing. I'm like, holy fucking hell! And it was funny because neither one of us won the battle of the bands. Some band, some random band won.
Country album of the year.
Oh, that's who won the country album?
Yeah.
Is that what won the country album of the year?
I haven't even heard it. Have you heard any of it?
Oh, hell no.
They're talking about the Beyonce record.
I like country, but I don't want to hear it from Beyonce.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. You got to tell them your puppy story.
Oh, Puffy, yeah, Mike Gordon.
We were at L'Amour's in Brooklyn, right?
There's
And we
Puffster.
were right behind. It was when Faith No More was first blowing up. The place was sweaty, packed,
He was a
crazy.
popular
Puffy's just
candidate that people were
doing his
tossing
thing.
out there for this.
Shit's flying. He's spitting all over the place. And he comes off the stage, and there's me and Lur standing there. And he just takes his whole freaking wad of dreads and goes, boof, right
Gross.
across Lur's face.
No, that'll leave a scar.
That's why we're not auditioning him for this.
Getting slapped by Puffy's dreads. Wow.
I'm sure you guys.
I would have asked for some
What's happening if I
antibiotics.
have a mistake?
What do you mean?
I mean, there are a lot of things, you know, so...
So this is something that Gergo does a lot. I think he's very direct and he's very forward. And I think it could be a cultural thing. He just asks, what if I mess up? What if I make a mistake? What happens? You know?
He thinks that Les is like James Brown, right? Punishing his musicians backstage for making mistakes.
If you make a mistake, make it twice.
Right.
Oh, man.
Think it's,
Right,
you know.
Repeat it.
So that's that notion of make a mistake once and it's just a mistake. Make the mistake twice and it's an arrangement. That's a Brian Eno thing. That is something that he used to push during the recording of albums with other bands. If they made mistakes, he was like, no, let's keep it in and do it again, because he said that it led to some really interesting moments when musicians were playing.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for creativity. A lot of musicians, legendary ones too, have championed that idea.
Yeah.
All right, so we're into the Primus set here. For some reason, Les's clock on his iPad there is not moving. It's stuck on 2:01.
Did you notice Gergo is not doing the cymbal work for Bastards?
Oh, that's
I mean, the
right.
hi-hat. He's not doing the hi-hat thing. I noticed that right away.
Yeah, Hoff is.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Huff really sat down to learn the songs, and it came through in these performances.
Given what Les had said early on in the process about paying honor to what's already there, but looking forward to the future, I think it was pretty smart of Hoffman to not play it safe,
respect
but
the
stick to it.
arrangements.
Yeah, respect it. Yeah. But there's definitely space for their own interpretations. Oh, see, now it's 2:02 on his iPad, so it's a clock. I thought it was a timer. Larry's playing in another room.
Imagine if they released this audio as an EP. That would be brilliant.
Oh, this was a moment for you, I know.
Yeah, I was tripping when this came up. I freaking love anti-pop.
Yes, I think it really stands up live, and they both did put good energy into this one.
Here comes the Ring of Fire. That is a really tough field to make.
Yeah, this is cool. I'm looking forward to hearing this one on tour again.
That was fantastic.
Yep. Nice and smooth.
Huff nailed this song. This is a really fantastic performance.
It's funny because when we were first playing, I was like, he's really got the J-ski thing down. He's really got the J-ski thing. And then we played.
He does.
Once he's got the
Very
double bass
J-ski.
stuff down, he was getting the Herb stuff down. And then, of course, we played some Brain stuff, and he played anti-pop better than anybody's played it besides Brain.
Damn.
To be honest, I probably worked on the feel less than working.
And I think these guys were kind of a study in contrast, where Gergu had that Herb thing. He had it down pat, and Hoffman had to work at it, and maybe Gergu didn't have that J-ski hop.
Like I was working on
Exactly. It was a total yin-yang situation.
And stuff, and
just like the characters on Hoff's shirt.
Those really clean, and like even though I worked on that so much this week, it still didn't come off as clean as I would like.
He's a perfectionist.
He is open to constructive criticism, and he's not afraid to point out that he is not satisfied. And I think that's
and I think being very demanding with himself is one of the things that got him to where he is right now.
Yeah.
As the official drummer.
And in that modern drummer issue,
he revealed that he dedicated himself 100% into this, and he made sacrifices. He put all his energy into it, and it paid off.
And he got to jam with Jay Lane after the fact, and Jay said, "I'm excited to see what this guy will do because he's got the feel."
Killer, man.
So
did we play that?
Fantastic anti-pop performance. Oh my god, I love that song.
Double in the record.
Yeah, right, okay.
It kills me. It's too long. Yeah, that sounds
they
great,
shortened
man.
it.
Thank you.
American Life is always welcome.
This is a great track to audition with because this one goes out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is you got that right. It's a great song to get to know each other musically.
Yeah. That double kick sounds good.
I love that double kick.
I do wonder how much these two guys had to alter their drum kits and setups so that they could play Herb stuff and J-ski stuff and Brain stuff. But I think largely the Herb stuff they had to make some adjustments for.
Yeah.
They're both grooving on this one.
Has a great feel. He has
Shiner
power, but listens very
Wonka
well.
guitar.
Dynamics
I'm
are
glad that
cool.
survived.
Guys have
Didn't notice the
power, but
Wamola
they don't
earlier
necessarily
either.
listen, and they just power through things. He listens to every little thing. He had some very creative things he was doing. With just different elements of the drums, like doing those little press rolls on the octobans.
I'm always watching and listening what's going on around me.
That's what makes him
all the
a killer
individual
drummer.
musicians in the band, even if it's just a trio. I so much respect them. I don't want to play loud just because I can. I just want to play balanced what fits to the music.
Which is exactly what you have to do in this band. That was nice.
Very solid performance.
I mean, it kind of depends.
I mean, this is where Herb would be doing
you know,
fills on the octobands, and Jay would be doing stuff on the hi-hat, right?
He's my favorite drummer to play with. I love playing with that guy. I love his feel. Him and I click. So, John Hoffman, I had that similar vibe with, and I really enjoyed that. Gergo has a little bit of everything.
It's a nice watch.
Badass, right?
I would assume he's
showing it off.
Thorough.
Yeah, he's not hiding it under the sleeve, is he? Got myself a gold watch.
3, 4.
Beaver was a surprise that they included this. But once again, the double kick, it's a good test for Hoff.
Exactly. It's a logical choice to bring out this song because it's got it all. It's got the double kick, it's got drum rolls, it's got fills.
Yeah. They're kind of, I think both of them are kind of holding back a little bit because on the studio cut,
Gergo,
Herb's all over
it. A great musical quality to the way he approaches his drums.
Yeah, he was really fun to play with, and as you're jamming and you're playing, it's really comfortable. And all of a sudden, I start noticing he's playing little things that I'm hearing, and then I start playing along with some of these things. Then he's playing back and forth, and all of a sudden, these parts are kind of
That's
popping
the
out
communication.
of some of the things he's playing. So it's really fun.
There's those rolls.
You survived. Was that a tough one?
Let's just say I worked on it a little bit this last week.
Silent killer.
Thank you, thank you. I really wanted those triplets to come through.
Yeah. This is very complimentary of both of them throughout. What was it? Oh. It's still a mystery to me why that part didn't make it onto Frizzle Fry.
I guess they just wanted to... They thought it would be more compelling if the track just kicked in, right?
I suppose so. I love the wells. The split cam, that's
That was
nice
fabulous.
work by Agent O to include that, and I would love to see more of that. Just a dual drum cam for the entire Primus sets would be
And full performances.
Yes. It's so great just to watch rehearsal footage. Like I don't know if they grasp that people are eating this up, and they could fairly easily do more of this and certainly monetize it one way or another. It also looks like Hoffman is really vibing on this one.
Yeah. Harold will always be a showstopper.
I'm so emotional.
Yes,
I'm not
100%.
talking that much.
You gotta
in
know that
audition because I'm thinking all the time, how can I do this good?
And an opportunity to go nuts. I forgot Les hit the foot pedal for that MIDI sound.
Oh, that was fantastic.
he's got the block there.
Yeah, that sounded great, man. That had the feel.
I guess we haven't gone into much detail about that, but I really like how Les has incorporated the synth as permanent thing for the Primus performances now.
Yeah, it's stuck around, hasn't it? It's going on tour.
It's really cool.
Now, even if they're not playing Rush. Oh man, Gergo just ripping here. Come on.
Yeah, I must say that was really compelling.
And then to carry that double kick pattern through to the end, really fun.
This is very interesting because Gilly is a song that that really makes drummers work hard, right? It gives them a run for their money because it's really intricate, a very complex drum track.
That hi-hat work is signature.
And as Les said, it had not been done
and I write music. And
the way 100% the way it is since Jay, right?
Because then,
right. It's hard to do.
I cannot avoid it. So I just learned the song as much as possible as I could, and I wrote Hungarian words.
This part's really cool.
About the
arrangements are in
forms and the
Hungarian.
rhythm, about the forms and the parts. We start together, guitars, singing intro once, guitars, closer hi-hat, groove, verse, and then 8-bar bass, ta-dam.
The man's thorough.
There's names inside.
He's organized.
Ta-dam, and end. Bass beütése, gitár intro 8-szor, plusz együttem. Aztán 8 ütem, bass, ta-dam, köztepergők, ta-dam, és vége.
Funny.
I love what Huff is doing there.
I think he's almost playing it verbatim from my memory of the track. Here, at least.
The way he played Jillies, I haven't heard anybody play Jillies that well since Jayski.
Jillies on Smack was
becoming a trend for Les to say that, right?
Ironically, they were giving me props on
not that good since Brain, not that good since Jayski.
Felt, and I did have to
not that good since Team Purple, right?
Particular Jay Lane type of.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
And, I'm glad they enjoyed my.
But we do know that those tunes are not in Herb's wheelhouse because Jay is so different and Brain's so different.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
So, was that part not right?
But credit where credit is due. Herb did his part learning them, and he wasn't close-minded as to say, I'm not playing stuff that I didn't record. He was open to learning those songs, and I think he did a great job. We gotta give credit to Herb.
Absolutely.
That's the one I've been worried about the most, man. Like it's a tough field, man. It's tough.
So even Hoff recognizes that and acknowledges that Jilly is tough, and he messed up, but they didn't care. Then they brought Jerry back, which was interesting. Although I guess, do you remember Hoff chose Tommy?
Yeah.
And then Gergu played Jerry, right? If I recall correctly, in their first go-around.
I mean,
that six-string package drum is beautiful.
He's a monster.
Bass.
He's a straight-up monster, that guy. He definitely had all the Herb stuff down. He's got that Danny Carey meets Dennis Chambers feel. So he's got the solid groove, but also can do the big textural.
He's calling Gergo a gorilla, basically.
Yes, he's a silverback gorilla. For sure.
Oh, I would love a full performance of these rehearsals.
Yes, for sure. Agent O, if you're listening, and I know you're not, primustrackspod@gmail.com is the email address for the full performance of each drummer. Also, all these close-ups, especially of Larry, if you aren't sure how to play some of these tunes because they're a mystery.
This is your chance to learn them.
You ever heard?
Yep.
First Primus song I ever heard was My Name Is Mud.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get to play it. But I'm not the one you have to impress. It's Lur.
This is true.
He's awful quiet. I can't quite get a read on him,
I don't know if you noticed, Lur's a bastard.
Yeah. I drive a hard ship.
Ugh. Those deadpans are killing me.
So here's a track that might seem fairly straightforward to some people, but once you get down to it, it's got so many ghost notes and little fills here and there that it actually becomes quite intricate.
Yes, it's got its own thing going on, and it's not super easy.
And it's really interesting how this one actually gave a little trouble to Huff at the end when he was trying to figure out how Herb played it.
Yes.
I think I'm not sure if Les was even 100% sure how Herb used to do it.
This one you definitely have to know because they're playing it almost every night. And the other thing is, and I remember Soya telling us about this when Brain joined the band. You know, Brain really wanted to amp it up a little bit, especially during the verses.
He's such a
And Soya recalled Les saying, "No, you got to keep it simple like Tim does, because then when it hits later, like right here, it has more gravitas to it." So that's what I was looking for, is them keeping it simple on the verses. Yeah, here it is. That is not right. And it actually, in my left ear, it does sound really
Feel
weird.
pretty good. I made a few mistakes. Once I made the mistakes, I knew better, you know. But I think the groove was pretty good. I'm just really trying to focus on his thumb and his downbeat, so I can match the bass drum with what he's doing.
Whose squeaky door is that?
You gotta accept
We're recording here.
Just pocket to pocket to pocket to pocket to pocket.
At the end.
Yeah. Soya to the rescue here.
And play with me. 2, 3, 4.
Does he play it on double bass?
It feels kind of weird.
I think he does.
Maybe not.
Soya said no. Soya says no. No double bass on that.
Okay. There you go.
I think it's just Tom's. Yeah, knowing him, it's probably him spreading out.
Oh, we're getting Les is about to get kind of whiplash on Huff, right?
Yeah. Play it again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those
I may have mentioned this at some point, but got to go see Beck when Soya was teching for Beck and doing the drum tech. And he came out and they had to sound check, of course, when it was Beck's turn. And Soya played the mud drum beat. And I was probably the only person who knew what was going on.
In the room.
Yep. There's that fill at the start of Pachyderm. God, they both nailed it.
The fill that Herb regrets he has written.
Yep, the Phil heard round the world. I like what he's doing on the ride there. Yes,
so if you notice, something that I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this as well in terms of these rehearsals, is that they're just going through the staples and the classics because all of them have their own rings of fire, right? Like Winona, Mutt's got all those ghost notes, and the outro, Pachyderm has that drum roll at the intro. So they want to see if they can nail these staples down, because if they were able to do that, then they can work on the deep cuts and new music, right?
In this right here, you see Les is facing Hoff, and so they are locking in during this jam, and you can tell
It's a jam vehicle. It's Hoffman's very first jam vehicle.
That's. I hope he has his permit.
Yeah.
But you can tell he's locking in. And he wants to build with him, and it sounds really good.
Another great track, because you gotta play the song the way it is, but that section gives you the liberty to improvise and to jam. So that makes it really fun to witness live.
And then into this, which is just so powerful.
Yeah, this melted my brain when I watched it for the first time.
Mother of God.
Two monster drummers.
Yep. Ugh, so good. You know, they play Pachyderm a lot, but when it's the closer and they go into that, it's really rewarding and it's a lot of fun. And
just like the American Life Catharsis.
Yeah, very much so. It's very similar. Look at what Gurgu's doing. That's pretty rad. Just those little things.
I thought for sure when it got down to the 9, there would be somebody. Nine. That would.
That's an inside joke we're not privy to.
If they were into it, that would be definitely. I mean, everybody out of those 9 were like phenomenal drummers.
9.
So there wasn't anybody who turned out that they weren't.
By the
as
way,
good as we thought
masterful
they were.
editing.
That part that I missed on Julie, that part's been giving me problems. And I know it's coming. Like, I go into the halftime part.
This post-mortem is really cool.
That's what I did that time. But
yeah, but that's
they
all,
survived.
That's all simple shit.
Like, let's go get some air. Talk about it.
You know, that's the hard stuff. You were struggling with the end of mud, you know. It's like...
Yeah, I guess I've never really
So was
learned
Les.
that the right way or even really noticed.
You'd have to watch a video or...
Yeah, I definitely need to do some homework on that. I thought that was all bass at the end, too. Like, I didn't even realize that he was matching your bass.
Well, you know, I'm pretty badass.
You are.
I sound like drums and bass.
I wonder if you can see that on hallucinogenetics.
They're fun.
What Herb's doing on that one. That might be a good reference.
Or did he do that at one of the clinic videos?
Oh, of course, yeah. Tim's drum DVD. That'd be the one.
Riff on
Yeah.
If you can't get him on the phone, just get his drum DVD. It's hard to find though.
Battling.
Oh, here's the new tune.
No.
Yeah.
Do you see on the fridge there, Frankie? There's some drawings, and I think that's Afro Les on the left.
The idea
That's
was
right.
show
But it's not an afro.
this
It's
new
a
song I
pubic
had
transplant.
written at the end of the day.
My bad.
And
By
then
the
I
way,
gave
that
a
was
copy of
Blur's
the
stomach
song
growling.
to take home.
You can
that
see
evening
him.
so that the next day we
He
could
looks
record
at
the song in
whoever's
like a
off camera, probably
studio
H&O.
environment, just like we would.
Hopefully these are going to different tracks, right? I can hear my gurgling over here. You can mute me out, right?
He's Gurgle Borland.
Gurgle.
Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
Yes.
Like I avoided Game of Thrones.
There's
forever.
H&O.
I was like, what the hell? I'm gonna watch this thing. But we watched it. It was amazing. Now I'm watching it through again.
Sorry, Les.
And it's incredible.
Not a Game of Thrones guy.
You're not a Game of Thrones guy, Frankie?
No, people pushed me so hard to watch it. I decided I was never going to watch it.
Oh, well.
Didn't want anything to do with Game of Thrones. And then the last year, my girlfriend pushed so hard for me to watch Game of Thrones. And she said, forget what people told you, just give it a chance. And we barely made it through half of the first season. And I was like, I've had enough of this. I can't.
Okay. Well,
I can't.
I'm sorry. With that, you cannot be the drummer for Primus.
Exactly.
You kind of just be her moral support because it's her big Super Bowl week.
When I was a kid, the very first time
Hoffman got a lot of brownie points there for
they respectfully placed the chopsticks on the plate. That's how they are meant to be placed.
They know their culture.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Oh my God.
Rare sighting of H&O. Rare sighting of H&O.
Usually off camera.
That's good stuff.
I liked it. I'll tell you some of the most awkward moments in my life. We had a buddy who used to come and meet us out on the road, and he'd rent a limousine. We'd go have like a steak or something, and then he'd drive us to the strip clubs.
Who is this buddy?
We go into the strip club, and 4 out of 5 times the DJ would be a big Primus fan, and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden he put on like.
I think it was. I think he's talking about. God, I can't remember which guy from Fishbone, because he said they would take him to the strip clubs a lot. So I think it was a Fishbone guy.
Isn't there a very spicy anecdote in the Grapevine book about one of those strip clubs?
Yes, that's what I'm drawing on. Yeah.
When will you decide who will be your drummer?
Once again, Gurgu being very direct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is, it's not a bad question to ask, but I think it might be off-putting for some people.
Yes, it was kind of savage.
We gotta look through the footage and all that whatnot.
I don't know, man. When I'm interviewing for a job, I want to know when they're going to make their decision so I can plan accordingly.
But I did tell Lur last night. I said, "You don't like Neil Peart, and you don't like David Lee Roth."
So my chances are going down.
Lur draining the wine.
You seen H&O's pink pants?
Yeah.
So I think what happened here is Agent O took off his mic because he probably was going to the bathroom.
We needed to learn
They just messed with him.
If you can learn 3 or 4 Rush songs by tomorrow, I would be very impressed.
So we're back on the Rush thing
It's
again.
hard. That shit's hard.
Well,
They're not letting
can
it
I
go.
pick which one I learned?
No.
No.
If you can learn Cygnus X1,
Good old Cygnus
I would be
X1.
very impressed.
Which one is that?
That's Les's favorite.
Well, I mean, like now the most important thing is going to be figuring out this song, and then we'll record the song tomorrow. The way we tend to work is,
I don't think they talked any Rush with Hoff, did they?
No.
Everybody starts throwing ideas at it until somebody goes, "Oh, that's the one. That sticks. That's cool. I'll go with that."
They're throwing ideas. It sticks. Is it pasta, Frankie? It's got to be.
Pasta.
Start throwing
Yeah.
pasta at the walls.
There it is.
And then we'll lay it down, and that'll be that.
Cygnus. Nobody's. By the way, in these two scenes, nobody is mean mugging the camera in the
All right, should
background.
we get out of here?
Thank you so much for the dinner.
Yeah, no worries. Well, it's Primus, so.
Yeah, you're
Awkward. It was. I think what Les is saying there is it's a business expense.
right,
So
get out of here?
Primus is buying your dinner. We're going to write it off on our taxes.
You should go all the way up.
Oh, this was really fascinating. As you said, we not only had we not gotten a sneak peek into rehearsals or video material in a long time, but when was the last time we saw footage of them working on a new track?
Sort of break for it, so we all kind of.
Right. Yeah. This is I don't think ever. Have we?
No. So this was quite a revelation, and for me, one of the most amazing things about this footage was looking at Les and Lur standing there listening to the mix, because it's something that we had not seen in a long time, and it was really refreshing.
Fill or an orchestrated
For sure, yeah. I mean, I don't need a full-blown making of, but, a 10-minute featurette sounds great. I'm into it. Let's go. And you can see Lur watching Les for the cues, and that's a filthy fill.
Almost like a little solo-y bit, you know?
Okay.
I'll just say I'm glad that I'm not in a drum solo contest against Gurgo, because he's the most ferocious drummer on earth right now, as far as I'm concerned, or one of them. He's one of the drummers that I used to watch daily just to get in the zone and get.
And there was an
myself hyped up for
anecdote
this
in
thing
the
and
Modern
kinda
Drummer that
get my own juices flowing.
management
he's been an
sent
inspiration.
mixed
for a
up
few
the
years now. And
schedules, I
same
guess,
with
or sent
Thomas
off the
Lang,
wrong schedule or
Prison.
something. So he
They
showed
ran
up
into
when
each
Gurgu
other,
was
right?
there. Yeah,
These are all people that I
He's like,
really
"Oh,
look
hey,
up to and really.
you're an awesome drummer."
Really love their drumming. So
I'm John Hoffman.
I mean, Gurgo's a monster. He was.
no.
When it came down to the final, it was a very tough decision between him and Hoffer. Gurgo was more in Herb camp. If we wanted to just replace Herb, he would probably be the perfect guy to get.
Yeah, I like keeping the hi-hat
Makes sense.
thing going, kind of with me.
Okay.
But maybe instead of a fill in there, you're doing like a hi-hat
stuff.
thing, but not too crazy.
I'm going to go back to this hi-hat.
I think that's not necessarily shortchanging Gurgu, because he's certainly dynamic, but I take the point. And then here you see Hoff watching very closely. Yeah. See, that sounds like something Hoff would play, but it also sounds like Primus.
Because then it builds.
Yes.
It builds in steps.
Yeah, I like the hi-hat stuff. That's, yeah. They threw a song at me and had me do my thing to it just to see what I could do. I mean, it was so fun and so interesting. And I was up all night working on it. You know, I was up till about 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I woke up this morning, and the first thing I thought was the song, so I just got right back to work. And
we recorded the song, and Hoffer killed it. He came in with some great ideas. I think we only played the song 3 times.
Thankfully,
That's
Wes
amazing.
was into most of the parts that I wrote and gave me a couple of suggestions, and they were great suggestions, made the song sound better. So I'm just very happy. You're probably not going to knock the smile off my face today.
And that's how it comes out of the
Comes out of the solo into the...
Yeah, just this stuff.
It's an earworm.
Figuring out the arrangement. By the way, it sounds really good in this room. It tells me it's going to sound good live. Dang. I love what Guru's doing there.
One of those, I think. So I'd like to keep it not too hoppy. I want to keep it kind of dark and creepy because it is about fentanyl. Gurgo played amazing stuff on it. It was different than the way Hoffer approached it, but it was amazing. And he did a lot of really cool Dennis Chambers type stuff with the kick drum. It was badass.
Didn't Les say in a prior episode he's scared to jam with Dennis Chambers? He wants to, but it's scary.
And,
Yeah, that guy's
I
incredible.
love to see people creating new stuff, so I always love to be a part of that.
Like, what if we go, like, if you go, because I'm going...
Look. You know, Frank, I did just notice, too, Guru's wearing a track jacket.
You don't do a fill. We just play.
Oh, really? You hadn't noticed?
No, how did I miss that?
Yeah, I like that,
You were doing the hi-hat with my...
Very Eastern European, if we're stereotyping.
2, 3, 4... Yeah, because that's cool. Because if you're doing like a kind of a halftime feel with your feet, and then you're doing some, whatever 16th note type stuff on the hi-hats.
Yeah.
So it gives it a kind of an interesting tug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that we're just listening to Larry
Maybe give us some of them, like,
suss it out,
Figuring
like
things
what he's
out,
going to
yeah.
do.
Little
I
Dennis
love that.
Chamber kick drum extra.
Oh, yeah?
You know what I mean? It needs a little something to spice it up.
That's rad.
They're so Primus. So, everything happens under their Primus vibe. So, and, their creativity under that Primus cloud is just endless.
That's what
Everything
we've
is about Primus.
spoken a lot about,
I love
Frankie.
that and respect that so much. I love how Lair find his weird position in this music. I love that a lot. And, it's a different kind of...
Gurgu, you could host this podcast. You're saying all the stuff we say every time we cover a track.
Gurgu knows who I am now because I think he got my itinerary on accident.
Oh,
and I bumped
here's
into
this
him
part.
and when I got here from the airport. He was leaving as I was coming in, and that was an interesting moment.
I don't know if it's biased because we heard the finalized recording before we saw this, but I do feel like Hoff's drum part fits a bit better. But I think it's biased, just because we heard the studio cut and we knew he was the drummer. I like what Lur's doing there. I don't know if it made it in that form on the final track, but I like what he's doing there.
Feel is just
some contrast.
Really incredible. He has a great feel. He did his homework. He came in with some great ideas. We didn't have to change much. We didn't have to massage him in any different way or or point him in any different directions. Just give him a little guidance, and by the third take, we had nailed it. He's kind of a combination of Jay Lane and Stuart Copeland, like the way he
what a compliment
approaches and accents and all his hi-hat work and whatnot. It reminds me of those two guys.
You know, in my dream world, I wanted to show up and have an absolutely undeniable audition. You know, but when you get into the room, things are always a little different than you expect, and you know, it
Hoff
went as
needs
well as I could
signature
have possibly hoped
earplugs.
for it to go, considering
or
whether I get this
IEMs
gig
or whatever.
not. Like, I've leveled up 10 times over during this experience.
Oh man. I think Gergoo could be a machine gunning drummer like Vinnie Colaiuta, right? Like I think he's in that vein. Just sick. Like the catches. That obviously changed, that vocalization.
All right, that's all I can play it because my fingers are dying. That was badass. Yeah, it sounded killer. I love the break at the end.
All right, hopefully his fingers aren't hurting on tour because that would concern me. Giving him a little tap. That laptop needs a Primus Tracks sticker.
Yeah. I just love looking at this footage. I mean, they're just standing there listening to the playback.
Les is checking his phone.
But it's really satisfying to watch.
For sure.
Blair is really deep in thought.
Yeah. It's cool. I like this process that they're documenting.
I loved it. Send it off to Hollywood. Brandon.
So what, you want to play at 4 or 6?
No, 4.
Yeah, I thought you
This
wanted
part's
to do
crazy.
Jerry. I thought you were gonna show
I
me
didn't
how
know
to do Jerry.
Gergoo was played bass.
Show me how to do Jerry was a race car driver.
Here?
Close. Down a little more.
Frankie, did you see the video of the oh gosh, her name slips my mind. The gal that figured out Jerry in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
the main lick. That was awesome.
I posted that on the billboard.
Mohini Day, I think. Yeah, she's worth checking out. By the way, Gergoo is on her first
that's all I
record.
know.
He plays drums on a couple
Any
tracks.
drummer I've ever seen.
Tommy, sorry, Tommy.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, I'm playing this since the age of 10. Just so close to each other, the strings. I cannot do that. Just do this.
Yeah, see, you're doing it with the right hand. I do it with the left hand.
Yeah.
Crazy. Gergoo sounds good.
I love the venue.
Yeah.
On Stanley's album.
We Supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, bonding over Stanley.
That's really impressive that
That's totally different.
he
than
can
how
play
I-
drums so well, and
That's
then
right. I never
he
learned
just
songs
grabs a
properly.
bass and he
I
plays
play
like
it. I mean,
that.
you know,
That's
I
amazing.
play it.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's a badass bass line,
Totally
too.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they give me shit
Stan.
all the time. You're playing it wrong. You're playing it wrong. I'm like, fuck.
Well, you played it wrong.
I probably am playing it wrong.
I have perfect pitch, and I can
Andy
hear
has
things.
perfect
Do you have
pitch.
perfect pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not.
And
I can barely sing.
well, I love that.
I'm like,
I love that. That's you.
I think it does give him
guys trying to take my job.
individuality.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on, brother. He's like, you are playing it wrong because I have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's good. I just had it.
But farewell, brother. That was amazing.
Thank you so much. It was unforgettable.
Yep.
Gotta catch a plane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Heck yeah, man.
Don't be late.
You guys are the best.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
got your parachute. You ready for the airplane ride?
Yeah. Ciao.
Later.
We knew we were going to be at the station,
There's the
Patron
camera set up
station,
right on
that
Hoffer.
night for trivia night. I believe I called you and just said, "Hey, this is our guy, right?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think on the driving home, I think we got on the phone and started talking about it.
Yeah, it's just like
seemed pretty
this-
obvious.
Yeah, this is our guy. All the cameras and everything are here. Our crew's here.
He's here.
Yeah, why don't we just let him know now?
Working with the crew's been awesome, man. Everybody here is.
You recognize some of the folks in the background, don't you,
courteous and
Frankie?
Professional.
Yeah.
It's made me feel, like I'm just a part of the team,
All right, you ready, Larry?
Go time?
I think it's go time.
Here's
Are you ready to sing?
the big moment.
So it's
How many tears did you shed, Frankie?
I feel like I've,
Zero.
definitely stayed in touch
You
with
monster.
My heart has become harder and harder as years go by.
This is
Come on, everybody, for he is a drummer, good drummer, that nobody can
the most authentic moment here of the entire thing.
deny, that nobody can deny.
Oh,
There's a sealed electric apricot CD in that shelf, somewhere inside that shelf.
Hoffer. So when I watched this the first time, I'm going, hold it. Come on, Hoffer. Hold it together, buddy. You got it. But at the same time, I just thought, let it rip, man. Let it go. This is so great. This shows how badly he wanted it. And that he just
I don't know what to say to that.
is living the dream.
Dude!
Yes.
So
We had to make sure there's a room full of people, you know. Nice work, man.
I do remember after that first day that we felt very
Hoffer.
strongly about, wow, I think we got our guy. And unless Hoffer really chokes tomorrow, I think he's going to get the gig.
Or fucks a dog.
Ayler?
I hope he's not out buying heroin right now.
It almost
Great
feels
line.
scripted the way this has all come about because Hoffer came out of the blue. He wasn't going to get an audition. He resubmitted, and we were totally blown away. Brought him in. He played. Lur was kind of having a rough day that day because he's been dealing with fucking
This
craziness
is
of
interesting
losing a
insight.
house and dealing with insurance and this. Lur actually wasn't that impressed.
I was beat down by this kick drum was pointed at my head.
So anyway, here's the guy who.
But it's
barely
kind
got
of
in to
interesting
begin with.
that
Then
that
Lur didn't
it
think
was weighing on him, and it kind
over the
of
top.
colored his perception that day.
And then he ends up getting the audition and killed it.
Just as Hollywood scripted it came out.
So for those that can't read it, it says, Hoffington, you got the gig.
Hoffer.
Did you cry, Josh? Did you cry?
No, but
This
it
is
was.
the look of a man
It got
who
really
doesn't know what he's
dusty in
gotten
here.
himself into.
My allergies
I think he was
kicked
the
up.
underdog in the sense of like.
No, I
possibly,
did.
some of these names were people.
There were certainly a lot of feelings though, because he's such a likable
I think
guy.
he was scared to death. He knew some of the names that he ran into Nikki on the
He's
way
very
in.
charismatic, and I think there's something to his humility because I'm from the Midwest, Frankie, and I identify with that part of Hoffer's personality.
So you're the other guy.
To be humble to the point of self-deprecation is something that I grew up doing too, and I
So
still
why did you pull up at New Year's Eve on a limo with a posse?
Me personally,
Oh, that's because I've made it, baby. The world owes me.
versus when John came in, it instantly. He seemed like he was the drummer in Primus. Like
Great
he
point
really
from
had
Soya
that
here,
feel.
by the way.
I don't know what to say.
Soya breaks it down.
Thank you guys so much.
It was really wholesome to see Hoff's authentic reaction to the news. He's not processing the whole thing at all.
Yeah. Hugging, and it was a very emotional thing. And
It wouldn't
was
have
great
been
to
this
see-
way with
see him his
anybody
reaction,
else, I think.
No.
He was very taken aback.
Yeah, I think it took him a beat to figure out what was actually happening.
Yeah, gosh, what a moment.
I'm stunned. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I just noticed the slurp on this.
I'm
It's
sorry
a nice
for crying in front of
reference.
everybody.
We're Californians. We cry all the fucking time.
Except Californians do it in private.
I don't know. I've just been dreaming about this for months. I'm so happy and so thankful. It might take me a little while to process this. But
Cheney's
I
a little
think
verklempt back
I
there.
couldn't be any happier right now, even though I'm cheery. Just blown away, you guys. Thank you.
Right on, man. Yeah.
What a way to endear yourself.
You earned it, man. You earned it.
You're the first drummer that answered all the trivia questions, right?
It was trivia night. He must have done pretty well.
And then Laura came in and started cracking the jokes to kind of lighten up the mood. Because everybody's like, oh, Hoffer. So it was a pretty amazing moment, actually. So you earned it. It's not like we're going, oh, wow, this guy's nice. And you are nice. You're a nice guy. But you're fucking great, dude. You killed it.
So
We're very excited
this is a really cool part because Les is building him up now. He's like, you earned it. You were the drummer for Primus. Do it.
Exactly.
I'm fucking crying too.
This is there's Soya.
You did it, buddy. You earned it.
I bet you didn't know there was going to be cake if you got this gig.
To Hoffington.
Soya's getting a little misty-eyed there.
Needs a beer.
Proud of him.
Never heard that.
Soya needs a beer.
Cheers. Right on, brother. Right here. Dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, brother. Okay. Now get to work.
And get to work he did. This is a great note to end on, that he took the stage, first time as Primus drummer, alongside his hero, Danny Carey. And also, Hoff's like 6'3", 6'4", so this shows you how tall Danny Carey is. Cripes. And that's all she wrote. Final thoughts on this one, Frankie? Takeaways?
I love how they finally revealed Hoffer's name at the end of the credits, because it had been blurred out during all the previous episodes. And now it's like, yeah, Primus is Les Claypool, Larry Lalonde, and John Hoffman. I think that's really fantastic. A very nice touch.
Absolutely. They knew what they were doing with that. That was genius.
And I just want to say that I just want to echo what you said and thank Primus for giving us over 4 hours of content. We were truly spoiled. We could not have asked for more. And it was a really fantastic watch while it lasted. It surely became a Thursday highlight. I was always anticipating the next episode. And I didn't think that they would close the series with a 1 hour episode. I think that was very generous of them. And it made for some really great watching.
100%. Yeah, it was must see YT. I was just waiting for it on YouTube every Thursday. And of course, it's over now, so we probably won't get much more in this vein. But my hope is that the response to this, this particular video, as of this moment, has over 100,000 views. Many of the audition videos are well over 100,000.
But we did get some random Oompa Violet and Farewell to Kings videos on the YouTube channel.
Whoever manages the YouTube must have looked in the drafts folder and went, oh shit, and then published them. But my hope is that with this and the amount of attention and engagement that the band experienced, that every once in a while we'll
get more video.
Something.
Yeah.
Yes. And so even if they're not making records, which we know they do not make records at light speed anymore, like they did in the 90s, just a little video here and there, a live cut, checking in with Hoffer in the studio, whatever.
Yes, because Primus is a very visual band. It's all about the aesthetics.
Yes. And we know Les and Lur have largely stayed away from social media until recently. Hoff is quite a social media presence, so maybe he'll drag them all into the 2020s, and we'll see more digital content coming our way. I'm completely thankful for this drum series. It was so great to see. I can give cheesy home video a rest. That poor tape is ready to fall apart. Yes, I don't. Yeah. I can set it aside for a while. Videoplasty gets to take a breath. This is the kind of, like, when I was a teenager in the 90s, Frankie, I lived for those video releases. So
me too.
Videoplasty came along, I watched it 1,000 times, and then when hallucinogenetics showed up, I wore that thing out. And
I would freak out when I found a single at a record store and it said that besides the audio tracks, it also included a video on QuickTime on your computer. That was like, oh shit, video content.
Yeah, the enhanced CDs too. These guys were on the cutting edge at the time, and it was quite a wonderful bonus. So hoping for more, and whatever form it takes, I'm sure I will just be enthusiastic to view it, receive it, experience it.
I just have one thing to say. Congratulations, John Hoffman.
I'll echo that sentiment. Hoff, you're welcome anytime. I guess that'll do it for us. The Interstellar Drum Derby has concluded. John Hoffman is well on his way into his tenure as Primus drummer for life. There is no escape, John. Interstellar Drum Derby, you've been tracked.
You've been commented.
That'll do it for us. Thanks for sticking around if you listen to the whole thing. If not, well, you're probably not hearing this, but we're going to continue our Of Wales and Woe coverage next time, Frankie. Get right back on the horse.
That's right.
Later days.
Willie Mays.